Hi, everybody. Welcome to my living room. We'll be back outside soon, but it's very cold out there right now. I rebranded the channel. You probably noticed that. I am Rad Mom now. Well, I was Rad Mom all along. Brazen, radical, she, mom. It's not a world apart. But so I wanted to go ahead and take a minute to introduce myself a little bit as I'm reintroducing the channel and tell you a little bit about myself and why I'm here talking with you fine people. I'm a child of divorce. My parents got divorced when I was 5. So that's pretty much been my whole life. And they were, I figured for a long time that they were both pretty narcissistic, but my dad's actually the only person I've ever met who's been diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder. So that's fun. And yeah. My mom pretty much raised me and my younger sister. She was ambivalent, though. I think the best thing she ever did for me was leave me alone. Let me develop a personality of my own. Initially, I was attracted to girls growing up. And then puberty came along and brought dysphoria, that they now call it, but I did not have that word then. And attraction to boys. So, that was confusing, you could say. And, you know, my mom moved us around a little bit, a good bit, and is working on her 4th divorce at the moment. So it's just perpetual upheaval growing up. I ended up with a pretty strong distrust of authority and, like, abandonment issues. So, yeah, it's just a feeling of powerlessness and, like, isolation from everyone. I kind of lived in my own world for a long time. But, yeah, I don't know. I got bored with it, as stupid as it sounds, and I'm just too cynical to, like, not, I don't know, too cynical and easily bored to not want to find eventually something else to do. I don't know. I did that for 15 years. And gradually, I just kind of lost interest in it. I don't know. But the big thing was that, you know, I ended up pregnant at 23. So, I had my son at 24. Because I couldn't talk myself into obsessing over what I knew was not really real at the end of the day, at the expense of my child. Raising him was just more compelling in the end. So I ended up spending the better part of a decade fighting through my internalized misogyny pretty much on my own. It was an adventure. Yep. And more recently, we moved to a much more conservative area. We went from the Northeast to Tennessee. Yeah. Culture shock is a phrase that applies. For sure. It's been almost 7 years now. Excuse me, and I have learned a lot more about conservatism and how it draws in some pretty smart women. You know, and how young women, they don't know anything else around here. As stupid as that sounds, and I don't mean to be patronizing, but they literally, you just never meet anyone. Or if you do, you speak to them briefly, you know, in a public place or at a social function. Anyway. So yeah, I got married and we moved down here in 2015. right after my brother-in-law decided to become a woman, which was like 5 years after I had gone through my own journey. So I already knew that it was garbage and why. But I humored him anyway and reintroduced this man to my very confused 7-year-old son. And then, just in case she ever sees this, she doesn't speak to me anyway, but I'll get to that in a minute. I explained to him in the car afterwards that, his uncle thought that he was, but nothing had really changed. That people can get very confused sometimes. It's a thing that can happen to anyone. Because I, of all people, am not going to be judgmental. And my sister knows, obviously, about a lot of the stuff that I have been through and done over the years. But, yeah, I don't know. They both acted as if I knew absolutely nothing about it. Because I didn't agree with them, so I didn't understand. I've lost quite a few people because I have felt compelled to speak up. Because 2015 was also the year that Jenner became Caitlyn, right? Yeah. So, is it also the year he was Woman of the Year? Like, first year out, right? That did not occur to me. I have to admit, that did not even occur to me. I was just like, this is nuts. Because it is. It was, and it always will be. And I have extensive personal experience that I can talk more about if people are interested. About 10, 11 years ago. I honestly am not sure which, because I don't really think about it a whole lot anymore. But I put it behind me. And I do have like an official anniversary of it because I'm like that. I like anniversaries. I mean, I used to have a little party. Why not? But I put it behind me, and I basically took just a huge chunk of my identity and threw it in the garbage. I didn't think about it anymore. I put it, I threw it away. So then several years later, everyone comes along telling me, these exact things that I thought for years and had ended up deciding were nonsense and garbage and just trash. I was actually personally offended. I can be honest now. I was like, what? But I just did this. What? No. So, yeah. But I had actually started the blog, Brazen She, in 2014. Because I had taken a look around, and I had actually decided, hey, you know what, I'm going to go see what's up on that old internet that I keep hearing so much about. And did not find really anyone that I related to. I didn't find anyone who really, I felt, represented me and people like me, who I assume that there are. I love you guys. I don't really know where to find y'all. But, I'm a stay-at-home mom. I'm not religious. I am vaguely witchy. I don't know. I like crystals and plants and shit. And candles. I like to have a bonfire every now and then. I literally have time for nothing else, okay? Because I have 4 kids, and I clean the house, and we have 2 dogs. 3 dogs. 2 big dogs. And a cat. And I have a lot to do. And I garden. You know how it is. I have some rough edges, as you can see. I can't hide them. I've tried to join mommy groups in the past. And I remember especially once showing up, all these women had, bleached white teeth and manicures, and I'm just like, yeah, I don't think this is gonna work out. And then there was the other time I showed up to the meetup group and they started passing around pictures of their fur babies. I'm like, yeah, I love my cats. I love my dogs. But it is not the same as having a child. That dog, you can spoil the shit out of that dog because he's never going to need to grow up and have a job. It's not the same. Anyway, so I felt the need to speak up for, I don't know, the weirdo moms. It's been a difficult niche to carve. I inevitably ended up responding to the trans movement, of course. And I was old school on the gender critical Reddit for, gosh, I want to say I was on there for 3 or 4 years before they shut that bitch down. And it's been a wild ride, and it's only going to get crazier, I think, before it's over. I have been really excited to learn about radical feminism because I love gender criticism. I love it. I love, like, literally the idea that I could just be a female person and that the rest is garbage. The rest is just bullshit, or a choice anyway. The rest is voluntary. You know, you can just kind of feel your way through life. You can just express yourself. You don't have to worry about losing your woman card or some dumb shit like that. It doesn't work that way. You know, I like to tell my kids that there's only one thing that makes you homosexual, and that's being sexually attracted to this people of the same sex as yourself. That's it. You can wear whatever you want, listen to whatever kind of music you want, go to whatever clubs you want. You can talk however you want, hang out with whoever you want. There's literally only one thing. And I think, you know, obviously sex is the same way because it's rooted in that, right? There's only one thing that makes you a man or a woman. Are you male or female? And it was so simple and so beautiful when I finally... and it was one of those epiphanies where you're like, oh, manna from heaven. And then you say it out loud like I just did, and it's like, it sounded better in my head. It's so simple when you say it out loud, isn't it? You know, it's so great. It was so great. It is so great to find that echoed by so many others. So many other women. And I love all you ladies. Because it really, really, really has meant the world. Because I've lost friends. Like I say, my sister doesn't talk to me anymore. I haven't talked to her in like over 2 years, I guess. Because I'm a terrible person. I'd written a blog post about Trump, actually, and what a jackass he was. And she's at least as much of a Democrat as I am, so I sent it to her, said, you might like this. That's what set it off. You know, that was the thing that after that she told me she didn't want to talk to me anymore. But of course there was plenty of stuff before that. Obviously, I mentioned a little bit, just a smidge. It's also great to finally hear the truth about porn, which of course is a big bugaboo in one's life. And prostitution, which I personally have no experience with, but I have known people who do. And like there's a reason, among others, but I have no interest. I can't fathom. I'm one of those people, you know. I have to like someone first. And experience has taught me to be cynical of romance and marriage. My mom was a fantastic role model in that regard. Still is, yeah. And my dad had a second wife, he was not her biggest problem. Not by a long shot. But, yeah, I don't... And I've had plenty of my own... Well, not plenty. A few of my own heartbreaks. Through the years. I'm pushing 40 now. So, like, we got married in our mid-30s, and, like, you don't do that without knowing there's going to be some baggage to unpack. You just have to accept that. And I'm... One of my favorite... It's going to sound corny, but one of my favorite things really is just learning. And I think that's why I'm enjoying this community so much, and that's why I'm enjoying being a mom so much, and shit, being married is a learning experience, isn't it? Oh boy. Becoming a stepmom to 2 girls after I had my son, and then he has 2 girls. So that's touch and go, right? But it put all of my personal beliefs in sharp relief because they were 9 and 12 when I met them. They were pretty big, right? So, they had been raised with a different standard than I would have. So, yeah, it was surprising how often I was just like, because you can't stomp all over them. But anyway, we had another son, so that's 4. And I'm doing my best to take advantage of those opportunities that I've been given because the universe gave me 2 boys. It's kind of terrifying. But, yeah, I don't know, I do. I feel like it's an uncommon opportunity, maybe. Not the most common opportunity to form the mind of some guy that's going to be out there one day, right? And I want to talk on this channel about how radical feminism informs my daily life, my parenting, my marriage and relationships with my friends and other people, just my general approach to things, because it really, I almost can't say that it does, because it just actually reflects what I was kind of going for and growing on my own anyway, which was really cool, to find something outside in the culture that just jived so much, jangled, it resonated. I know there's all the words for that have been ruined, but they go together well. And continue confronting the gender woo in all its forms. It's this weird sort of personalized authoritarianism, right? One size fits all, but you can tailor it to your own taste. That's on the right and the left. They're both trying to tell everybody what to do in this very fascist way, just with their own flavor, with their own flair. And part of that is controlling women. A big part of that, for any regime, is controlling the lives of women and the reproductive and domestic labor of women. Absolutely. And so I want to talk about trans rights. I'm going to continue to confront some of those people because, directly, with the response videos, because I don't think enough people are doing that. I think more of us should do that. And I love that King Critical does that, and I have a few other favorites, but I wish that more of you guys would do that. I do. I think that would be... It's punchy, right? It's fun. Anyway, I will be uploading every other weekend, is the plan, going forward. On alternate weekends, I'm still going to be publishing on the blog, Brazen She, because I'm really a writer. That's what I really do. Like, being on camera is kind of nerve-wracking. And I do these all in one take because I haven't got my editing software, which I finally bought, actually set up yet. Because I got a lot on my plate. We'll get there. And thank you so much for being with me through this new learning experience, because I really, I've fallen in love with this community, really. It means the world to me to be able to talk about these things. I had put it behind me, and I thought I would have this dark secret in my closet for the rest of my life. I thought no one would ever understand this really long, weird experience that I had going back to when I was 13, 12 or 13. And it's like, King Critical, Karen Davis, Excellentic, Mr. Meadow, it's funny, Kelly J, of course, Slightly Twisted Female, just to name a few of my favorites. I love y'all. I watch y'all every day. Every day. Well, when you post something, I am there. And I need to show up for more of the live streams. I really, really, really want to start showing up for more of the live streams and actually get to talk to everybody. Like, everybody. And I want to stick around on this channel and add my voice to the conversation, because it's really important to me, and I think to everybody at this point. It's not debatable. Maybe 5 years ago, 6 years ago, 7 years ago, whenever that was, it was debatable, and I have had a couple of people over the years kind of look at me cross-eyed and wonder why I was so interested in this topic. Right? I think we all have had that experience, except maybe some of the newbies. Going back, people didn't necessarily, and it's still very much not in the forefront around here, because it's 1996 forever here. In a lot of ways. But we do have cell phones. Yeah. They work most of the time. Anyway, where was I? Yeah, this is an important conversation, and I really want to be here for it. And thank you so much for watching and helping me be here for it. Like the video, subscribe to the channel for all kinds of good stuff and big plans that I have for this year. I hope you'll stick around and chat with me. Thank you so much for watching. I am Rad Mom. And I will see y'all next time when we have somebody to argue with. Have a good one.